Welcome back to Firewood Fridays. Cold weather it's creeping. It's creeping up on us, which means we have to get ready for heating season. And that is going to entail cleaning the wood stove, cleaning the chimney, cleaning the pipe, and of course, bringing in all the wood. This is what we have left over from last year, so we'll pull that, probably push that to the side. That way that gets used up first, and all the new stuff gets stacked in there. We'll clean up all this bark and stuff after we push all of our wood in, and we have to make room to do that. So last year we came in that window, and I think that's what we're gonna end up doing again with our slide, and we'll slide everything in. So we'll have to move a bunch of stuff out of the way. But first things first, we're gonna make sure that we clean everything out of the stove, get all the ash out of there, which there is still some in there. So we'll have to clean that out. We'll take the pipes outside, brush them out, and we'll brush the chimney. I did this in a video last year, so I'm not gonna bore you with doing that all over again, but it needs done, so I'll do that quick. And then we're gonna go outside and we're gonna start splitting some firewood. We're gonna start by splitting this pile, which should be dry enough that we should be able to take a lot of this stuff in right off the bat. There's some maple in here, like the bigger stuff up there that I know was green when it was cut. So we'll be picky choosy. Like this, for instance, is all falling apart. So that, I'm sure, is dry enough. And we're gonna teach her how to run the log splitter today. Some of that wood into the basement right away, but testing it with a moisture tester, it's like 23, 25, somewhere in that range percent. So some of that was just actually cut down. We brought this back earlier in the year, so it's one of them things I don't think I really want to take it in the house because it's just not quite dry enough yet. So we have tons of other piles around that are going to be dry enough, so we'll probably just stack that stuff here, starting here, and let it season just because it is a little bit on the wetter side. There we go.
Oh, nice.
Change of plans. Because of the way the roof is, I don't want all the water running down on the wood. I'm gonna put it up here in front of the turkey pen. It's obviously not gonna be enough room, but it'll hold a decent amount for right now. I've moved from that side of the barn and that pile to this pile that we have staged here, mainly because this stuff was cut, I don't even remember when, but this was dead, so I'm hoping this stuff is dry. I did split a little bit of it last year just for reserve if we did run out. So I'm going to split a couple pieces of this, test it, and we'll see what it comes back as moisture wise. If it's good, we're going to take this load and throw it right in the basement. Let's check and see what the moisture is on this first piece. .6. It's pretty good, actually. That's not anywhere from 15 to 20 is where I like to see it. We'll check a few more pieces in this pile, but I think the majority of them are going to be good to go. I don't know what kind of wood this is either. I tried splitting it by hand and it's tough. Some of this stuff is kind of drier than others. Just depends. I don't know. A lot of this, in fact, you can tell it's really drying because it's getting all cracky. So, and I really don't even know what kind of wood that is. It's really hard and stringy. I don't know if it's like a hickory, but it doesn't have any bark on it. And then I have some walnut down in here. The walnut is a little bit fresher stuff. That is like 28% moisture right now. So I split a half of that. That's a no-go. But some of this other stuff, I actually just tested one and it was like 23%, 24. So I think we're probably just gonna call it quits for splitting right now. I'll take this load in. I think the majority of this stuff is dry. So we'll get this in the basement. And then we have a little stack over there reserved that I kept just from last year. Split from this stuff, but it was kept dry. So I'll throw that on top of here. We'll slide that in the basement. And then we'll probably have to decide which pile we're gonna pull from. Haven't really figured that out yet. You can definitely tell that this stuff's dry just by looking at it. It has a much different color to it. Yeah, 10.6. That stuff's dry. Now this isn't split. If we split it open, it probably wouldn't read that much. That's 13. Yeah, more than dry enough. So this can definitely go in the basement. out pays. First load's done. Kind of my goal for this year, take these back because these I know aren't dry enough. I don't know why I threw them in there. My goal for this year is to not have to rush at this, and I didn't have to rush it last year either, but we pushed a little bit harder to get it all in the basement. So I'm starting a little bit earlier. It's September 20th. It's not really cold out. It's actually fairly warm out today. So I want to do this little by little. I don't want to have to rush at it. I don't have to kill myself to try and get it in here. And in doing that, it might go a little bit smoother that way, I guess. So that's my thought. That's my plan. So we might do, who knows, whatever I feel like, 2-3 loads tonight, maybe 4, just depends. And see what it is. We'll probably fill as much as we can in there, and then we obviously have to stack, and then we'll throw more loads in. But we'll do whatever we feel like, and then when we feel like doing it again, then we can. And there's not a huge rush to push for it because we don't need the heat right now. And besides that, I'm going away for vacation in a week in October, so I won't be able to do it then. And then after that, because I doubt it's going to happen before that, is harvest. And that's going to be a busy time. So I don't want to have the weight of my shoulders on having to move wood on there at the same time as trying to get our corn off. I have multiple piles. So we have the big round pile there. We have this pile. We have another stack in there, stacked between some skids. And then up at, kind of up on the hill, we have a big long stack started on skids. We never filled it. All that was cut around the same similar time. This stuff would have been cut maybe a little later. A lot of this stuff here is kind of a mix and match, but a lot of this and that big pile down there are the same as far as being cut. So really this is what we have to choose from. I have this pile, the big round pile there, and then the one up on the hill. I could take from that one. However, I'm almost thinking this one would be more convenient, and that's a much bigger pile, so the stuff in the center might need to dry a couple more years, whereas this is a little bit smaller. And my thought process is too, when we start to split this, when this is out of the way, we just take this and move it over there, so we're not taking it and having to move it super far. I don't know if the basement's going to take all of this. I would imagine it probably would. I don't know how many cord are sitting here, 2 to 3 maybe. So we'll see. But I think we're going to take from this pile. I'll take a couple moisture test probes from a couple of them and see where we're at. We might split one of them open and see what the inside, because obviously the outside's going to be dry. This one here's a good example, I believe. .3. Would imagine that's going to be pretty good. Kind of at the point of, it's some of stuff is about 15-16%, and then there's some that's like 18, 19, which is still fine. You want anything between 15 and 20%, so I'm not overly concerned about that. And honestly, we don't have any drier wood to choose from. This is everything here that we have stacked and split already was all cut around the same time, so everything else from here on out is going to dry better because it's going to sit longer. But for this year, this is only seasoned about probably a year, so it is what it is. This is what we have to choose from. But I'll continually, as we go and get deeper into the pile, I'll take some more readings just to make sure there's nothing 25-30%, which I don't see that happening, but we're just going to check anyway. So far it's testing pretty good. We're going to take load number 2. Hopefully I don't come across any bees. I am not a bee person. Load number 3. Load number 4. The 5th and final load that we will be taking in today. And let me tell you, there's a lot in the basement. Just with 5 loads, this cart holds a lot, especially when you heap it like that. So now, after this, I'll have some stacking to do. That is a pile of wood. Get our slide out of the way, maybe. That's 5 wagon loads worth with the 4-wheeler. Now I get to stack all that. 5 loads is probably a bit too much because we're starting to pile over into some of our stuff. But yeah, 5 loads is about maximum capacity that you're going to be able to put in there at a time until you have to go stack it. So now I get to deal with that, which that I can do kind of at my own pace. Hence why I'm not trying to wait till winter comes to do all this. I have my work cut out for me. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Today's episode of Firewood Fridays. Winter's coming, unfortunately. I know some of you may like the cold. I personally don't. But hey. Anyways, have a great day. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And I'll see you next time.